Good morning to the respected speaker, cautious timekeeper, honorable judge, members of the opposition team, and members of the floor. Before I put forward my case today, I would like to define today's motion. This house believes that McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal. Today, I, as the first speaker of the government team, and will present the argument. Today, we, the government team, strongly believes with the motion McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the hall. First of all, why I agree with the motion McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal is because McDonald's, you cannot actually decide about McDonald's. Really, it depends on which side you think is bigger. I would say McDonald's is good because McDonald's have good service and little kids have space to play in, so the adults can go and have their free meal. In my opinion, I personally think that service is bigger than food. Even the food doesn't taste that bad. Therefore, as a conclusion, we the government strongly agree that the greatest advantage of fast food, for example in McDonald's, is that it saves time. When a person does not have enough time for cooking, it is very convenient to buy it already made. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good morning to the respected speakers, caution timekeepers, honorable judges, member of the government team, and the members of the floors. So today, the opposition team will present an agreement and also will refute all the agreements presented by the governments. Today, the opposition team strongly disagree with the motions McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal. Before I put forward my case today, I would like to define today's motions. This house believes that McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal, whereas we believe that McDonald's is not a good restaurant to have a meal. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the hall, first of all, why I disagree with the motions McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal is because the most serious drawback fast food is the badly effect on health and well-being. Fast food contains a lot of calories which can make you overweight, and this is one of the most important problems in Malaysia. Because as we can see, fast food is mostly popular over here. Therefore, as a conclusion, the greatest disadvantage of fast food is the adverse effect that it has on health. It is a fact that fast food is unhealthier than home-cooked meal, as they contain higher amounts of unwanted nutrients like salts, fats, and various types of additives. It may contain harmful bacteria too. Thank you.
Good morning to the respected speaker, cautious timekeeper, honorable judge, member of the oversight team, and the members on the floor. As the second speaker of the government team, I will present one supporting point and also refute the argument presented by the opposite team. Ladies and gentlemen, the second point why we agree with the motion because buying fast food is handier while traveling. For example, when you don't have any equipment for a customer perspective for its functioning as a restaurant, McDonald's is a very good restaurant. The service is the most part efficient with a little hustle. Food is prepared in the aesthetic standard of all outlets regardless of geographical location for the most part of the time, with a little deviation of expectations. Venues are usually air-conditioned and well equipped to cater to individuals and families alike, while being sufficiently clean to eat meal within. And the staff are intelligent enough to understand that customer preference may exist and are capable of exercising some flexibility in acceding to reasonable requests to have instruction altered. Once again, I strongly agree with the motions because McDonald's good service and the little kids can have some space to play in so that adults can have their meal freely, and it also saves us time. Thank you. Now I will pass it to the third speaker of the government team.
Good morning to the respected speaker, cautious timekeeper, honorable judge, member of the opposition teams and member of the floor. As the third speaker of the government teams, I will present another supporting point and will also refute the argument presented by the opposition team's first speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, member of the hall. Another point on why we agree on this motion is because it is interesting to note that most people believe that calories are harmful for our health. But this is not true because human organism needs them for metabolism. We can see that one meal at a fast food restaurant contains all the calories you need for entire day. So, fast food can be healthy when you eat really. You also can find dishes in menu those are not unhealthy. For instance, you can find salads and juice. Beside fast food example, McDonald's restaurant is the cheaper than the other. And this is one more reason why people choose them. And it is actually easier than that to get fresh fries at McDonald's. And you don't have to skip the salt to do it. Research on Reddit, the aforementioned McDonald's employees said you don't have to be sneaky to get fresh fries. Don't ask for no salt, just ask for fresh. The employee wrote, we will make them fresh. Therefore, I strongly agree with the motion because buying fast food is handier while traveling. For example, when you do not have equipment. Thank you.
Good morning to the respected speakers, cautious timekeeper, honorable judge, members of the government team, and members of the floor. As the second speaker of the opposition team, I will present some supporting points and will also refute the arguments presented by the opposition team's second speaker and third speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, just now the government team speakers stood before us today to convince us that McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal. The second speakers from the government team clearly said that buying fast food is handier while traveling. For example, when you do not have an equipment. From a customer's perspective of its functioning for a restaurant, McDonald's is a very good restaurant. From my perspective, I believe that fast food is the faster way to feed our hunger. It is not healthy at all. It full saturated and unsaturated fat. Unsaturated fat are good fat, which means someone can burn this fat over time through exercise. On the other side, saturated fats are bad fats which cannot be burned and stay in our body. Other than that, the third speakers, the government team said, and it's actually easier than to get the fresh fries at McDonald's and you don't have to skip the salt to do it. From my perspective view too, I believe that french fries, deep fried chicken and other deep fried foods are the major source of the trans fats.
Furthermore, it is one of the reasons behind people getting overweight these days. Thank you. Now I will be passing it to the third speakers of the opposition team.
Good morning to the respected speaker, cautious timekeeper, honorable judge, members of the government team, and members of the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, just a moment ago, our second speaker opposition team has spoken about the effects of fast food, for an example, eating in McDonalds, and refute the point or arguments from the government team's second and third speaker. I have to agree with the motion. McDonald's is not a good restaurant to have a meal. It is because of fast food joints are being seen as a factor that is making a number of families spend less and less time together. Family mealtime is something that is considered as an opportunity for all the members to come together and share their experiences. However, the fast food centers are quickly eating into this quality time. This is especially true about youngsters, for whom a fast food center is a good place to hang out with friends and peers, where the day's experiences are shared with other members of the family. Hence, McDonald's is certainly an occasional fun treat, and there are healthy menu choices. Sadly, too many people visit too often, with unwholesome result and a bad habit, setting the stage for health disaster for our young people. Everyone should think twice before deciding to eat fast food. To sum it up, fast food is more harmful than healthy. But if we not eat it not very often, it will not damage our health. Thank you.
Good morning to the respected speaker, cautious timekeeper, honorable judge, members of the opposition team, and members of the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the hall, just now the opposition speaker tried to convince us that their motion, McDonald's is not a good restaurant to have a meal. In contrast with fast food, joints are being seen as a factor that is making a number of families spend less and less time together. I have to disagree on that statement. Why? It is because every month, millions of families visit McDonald's restaurant in Malaysia to eat, laugh, bond, and share moments of togetherness. Designed with families in mind, the Happy Meal Readers program by McDonald's Malaysia aims to inculcate a passion for reading among Malaysians from a young age through its Scale for Good approach. Marketing Director of McDonald's Malaysia, Eugene Lee, said this commitment towards fostering a reading culture supports the company efforts in bringing families together. Hence, fast food restaurants such as McDonald's notoriously jam-pack their meals with extra salt, leading many to rally against the immediate and prolonged health hazard of consuming so much sodium in one sitting. Eating at McDonald's proves no different. The average person should be consuming 2,300 mg of sodium or less per day. And those with high blood pressure just keep their sodium intake to 1,500 mg or less per day. Thank you.
Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, allow me to make a conclusion reaffirm and clearly right is saying that we are the government strongly believe that McDonald's is a good restaurant to have a meal. No other restaurant can compare to McDonald's chips. They are far superior to have other fast food restaurants. They are nice and crunchy on the outside, soft on inside. They're just right. In fact, they are so good that have a kind of been put off from eating homemade fries because they are nothing to compare McDonald's fries. If you want a great fresh, then go to McDonald's. Due to the protein and fats content to the Big Mac, it should actually stabilize blood sugar because of having a pretty balance of a carbohydrate, protein in fats. Beef is an excellent source of iron, and one Big Mac provides you with a 25% of a daily values. If you feel sluggish and could use some iron, indulging in a Big Mac you do a trick. If you feel down and could use a benefit of ingesting extra dose of iron, a Big Mac as your name in during your next McDonald's dining experience. That's all from me. Thank you.
Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, before I take my seat, allow me to make a conclusion, reaffirm and clearly write in saying that we, the opposition, strongly believe that McDonald's is not a good restaurant to have a meal. Five Guys restaurant outclasses McDonald's 10-1. Their french fries are saltier and crispier. Five Guys burgers are heartier and juicier. And here's the killer. Five Guys has peanuts. McDonald's food is cheap and dry compared to the lively and hearty dishes of Five Guys. In conclusion, fast food, although it's a convenient and a tasty addition to a diet, can have serious health, increased economic and social effects. People should learn to choose fast food carefully and remember the pleasure of eating good food in good company. It is not necessary to boycott all the fast food restaurants, but it is important to limit how often we eat at them. It is important to eat healthy and make good choices when we decide what to put in your body. Don't be lazy and pick up fast food on your way home from work. Make the right choice and eat some vegetables. That's all from me. Thank you.